Welcome to the lesson on classes in Object-Oriented Programming, OOP, with Python. In this lesson, we will explore the fundamental concept of classes, which are the building blocks of OOP. Classes allow us to model real-world entities in our code, making it easier to manage and manipulate data. By the end of this lesson, you will have a solid understanding of how to define and use classes in Python. Don't worry if this feels new at first. This section covers what's a class. A class is a blueprint for creating objects. Objects are instances of classes that encapsulate data and functionality. In simpler terms, think of a class as a template that defines the properties, attributes, and behaviors, methods that the objects created from the class will have. For example, consider a class called car. This class can have attributes such as color, make, and model, and methods such as start and stop. Each car object created from this class will have its own specific values for these attributes. Now, defining a class in Python. In Python, we define a class using the class keyword followed by the class name. By convention, class names are written in camel case. Here is a simple example. This sample defines a function. Review the implementation on the slide. In this example, we define a class called car with an __init___ method. The __init___ method is a special method that initializes the object's attributes. We also define two methods, start and stop, which describe the actions that a car can perform. Now we're on creating an object. Once we have defined a class, we can create objects, instances of that class. Here's how we can create an object of the car class. The samples. On screen, walk through this step. Take a moment to read through them. In this snippet, we create an object called my_car with the specific attributes for make, model, and color. When we call the start method on my_car, it will return a message indicating that the car is starting. Now, understanding attributes and methods. Attributes are variables that belong to an object, while methods are functions that belong to a class. You can access and modify an object's attributes using the dot notation. For example, I'll let you read the examples on screen rather than reading every line aloud. In this code, we change the color of my_car to red, and then call the start method again. The output will reflect the updated color. In this lesson, we covered the following points. First, the definition and purpose of a class in OOP. Also, how to define a class and its attributes and methods in Python. Finally, how to create an object from a class and access its attributes and methods. Now put what you've learned into practice. First, create a class called dog with attributes name, breed, and age. Also, add a method bark that returns a message like name says woof. Also, create an object of the dog class and call its bark method. Finally, modify the dog's age and print a statement reflecting the change.